Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm gonna be talking about a TV series review again. This time I'll be talking about Monster Squad. This show was done in 1976, and it's not the Monster Squad you think, like the 80s Monster Squad. Like I said, this is done in the late 70s. This is a TV series. This is more like, I would say, in the vein, the style of the Batman live action series with Adam West, but done with these classic monsters. It's about this guy who works in the wax museum who wants to become a criminologist, and he wakes up these three monsters: Count Dracula, the Wolfman, and Frankenstein. And to meant for their mistakes of the past, they decide to become crime fighters and help this human being who has this computer device underneath the wax museum to get clues on criminals and crimes and stop these super villains, like Batman style villains, I would say, from taking over the world or robbing the bank, trying to get money. And it only contains 13 episodes. What makes this show fun is that the jokes are really good, very cheesy and cheap jokes, but they're very funny and it kind of stands out for each of the episodes. You know, you got episode one, which is the Queen Bee, which is about this lady who's like a bee-like with her bee henchmen that's want to take over the world. You got episode two, Mephisto, who uses like music to control people pretty much. And then you got oh, excuse my fault. Episode two is Mephisto, who's the master of making dolls, and he has like these two female henchmen that could hypnotize you. And also, let me just mention that each of these episodes have one villain and always a two henchmen. It's always like a two-person character. So when these monsters fight these villains, you find like three people pretty much. Then we get episode three, the Tickler, who's kind of like their version of the Joker, who kind of want to pass off kind of fake bills and trying to set up the monsters. And then you get the Ringmaster, which is kind of funny, you know. The Ringmaster, he has like this muscle-bound guy and this woman, big girl, that want to kidnap children and buy out all the toys. And the plot of each of these episodes are kind of silly, though, by the way. Let me just say that. You know, I mean, it is like, I would say this is like a discounted live action Batman Adam West series. But like I say, it's funny, like their own take on it. Then you get the Music Man, episode 5, which is like a mad musician use music to rob people from a telethon, which is kind of funny. Like the plot of the telethon is silly. I won't ruin that for you, but it's kind of silly. You got No Face, which is a guy who's disguised himself, trying to take over the city for his own benefit. And then you get episode 7, the Astrologer, who used like earthquakes to destroy the world. And also you got a strange plot when they kidnap it, like took it then like an atomic bomb. You got Ultra Witch, which is funny that she wants to use the mix of milk supply, and she's also in love with Dracula. But yes, each of these plots are really, really silly. Episode 9, which is the wizard who wants to steal monuments. You got episode 10, episode 9. Oh, no, episode 10, my fault. But you got a villain called the Skull, which I would say that he's pretty much like the scariest looking villain. Like, you saw the makeup for the Misfits, the band? He has that type of makeup, or the band Ghost, that look. And this is the first appearance of the Mummy, which he got his own monster. And you got a hunchback henchman battling the monsters. Episode 11 is the Weatherman, which is obvious what this episode is about. It's about this guy who looked like wanted to take over the world by trying to not be nominated as president, and they don't. He will freeze the world. He will freeze the world. And also, let me just mention that each of the plot, also, like I say, it has that 60s Batman vibe. When you know in Batman, the live action series with Adam West, like those obstacles when they get trapped by the villain. Same thing with this series. Each of the episodes have the monster getting trapped. From the villains have like these different types of traps, and it's up to Walt, like I said, the guy that owns the wax museum, to try and free them, or the monster was trying to help them out. One of the monsters. Episode 12, you got a guy who's like a Lawrence of Arabia type of character who wants to steal a giant pearl. And you got episode 13 was the last episode about this half man, half woman like that wants to flood the earth and try to be like the next Noah's Ark by kidnapping all these different animals. All in all, just to fast forward, I highly recommend the Monster Squad TV series. It is a fun series. It is like it's very low budget. I would say more low budget than the Batman series, but live action Batman. But TV series, but it's fun. I mean, the jokes. I feel like the jokes in this is much better. And like I say, it's cheesy, cheap jokes for each of the episode. It makes sense. It's fun. The traps are kind of like cheap looking traps. It's not as crazy. And then the Batman when Batman and Robin gets trapped by their villains like Joker or Catwoman or so on. But still, it's somewhat entertaining, you know. All in all, yeah, check out Monster Squad. It's on Tubi TV now. I think you will enjoy it as much as I did. And that's all I have to say. Over and out. Peace.